Okay. Good morning, everyone. Happy
Morning.
Wednesday. How are you, Laura?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And I'm super excited for Winning Wednesdays, by the way. So today is the launch of our Winning Wednesday program for those that are, motivated and excited to dive into activities and lead gen and boost their business and do it with accountability and a group. So thank you for doing that, Laura.
You're welcome. I'm excited too.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear all the exciting things that come from it. And this goes well with our topic today. So we're picking back up the shift book, right? And we're in shift tactic 4, which is fine. If you
trying to make
those book, right? Yeah. And by the way, if you haven't read the shift book or you don't have one, pick one up or borrow one of ours. Second, this is a chapter. This isn't a chapter you read once. I don't know how many times you've read the shift book, Laura. I know it's been at least 10, probably a little bit more. And this book, Find the Motivated / Lead Gen. It's great to read hand in hand with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book's Lead Gen model book, right? There's similar and different. There's 2 different aspects of them both. And what I loved in reviewing for today is how in depth Gary Keller goes on activities and systems and processes. But I do want to talk about finding the motivated first. And we say find the motivated, we say create urgency. Both of those statements come right from the shift book. However, the question comes up is, how will we know if they're motivated, Laura?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. And it's a simple answer.
We ask questions.
That's right. Right? We actually won't know someone's motivation until we ask.
Right.
And I just want to take a moment right now and give a tip on that. Right. One of our bold laws is logic makes us think, emotion makes us act. Right. So when we asked a question of what's important to you about buying this house or what's important to you about selling your home, just want everyone to have clarity that they're going to first answer with a logic brain answer.
Mm-hmm.
When we go 3 deep with the questions, why is important to you or what is important to you about that? And then let them answer. And then we go a third question. I hear what you're saying, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, seller. This is what's important to you. And when that happens, what will that do for you, for your family, for your lifestyle, right? The third question is when we hit emotion. And guess what? That's the true motivation.
Right. Yeah.
And emotional motivation, when we hit it, that's when we can use that to create the urgency to help them move forward. And it's moving forward on a decision they want to make anyways. So we're not convincing anyone to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. It's something they have a vision for themselves. And we can do a better job when we have clarity as to what's that emotional driver, i.e. motivation, that's helping them with their decision anyways, right? So I love the title of this, and I love that we train on this. I just feel there's a gap sometimes in clarity of what that means. My coach tip is every single person in your pipeline have a space for what's their motivation, and go back and look, and if you don't know, that's a great reason to reach back out to them. Okay, so the shift tactic number 4 is really about lead gen, right?
Right.
If we're finding the motivated, we're finding people that want to do business. And I want to say that our results will never outweigh our effort.
So true.
I know, right? You could just write down effort equals results.
Right.
And I think that the system that Gary Keller speaks of in this is a system that increases our efforts so that we can get results. And in a market like we're in, the reality is in a shifted market, shifted, still in the shift, right? However we're calling it, it may take more effort to get the results we were getting over the last few years. Would you say that's true, Laura?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we
I
say that
agree.
time on task, right?
I just wrote that down because you and I talked about it the other day. I just wrote time over task, time on task.
That's right. That's right. So he gives 3 steps around this, and I'm not going to dive into the lead gen methods. Maybe you want to point out some, and we can talk about that too.
Sure.
I want to pull out 3 steps that he talks about. One is stop doing what doesn't work.
Yes.
Things have changed.
Right.
Is it possible that what we did the last 3 years isn't working?
It's possible.
Right? Some of it might be, and some of it's not. So stop doing what's
Right.
not working, right? 2, figure out what works, right? And I love, especially last week when we were at our team meeting, team huddle, you had a panel discussion of top agents in our company and just sharing, like, 1, what's they're experiencing, and 2, what's working. Like, dive into that. What is working? Figuring out what works, and then you take that action and make sure that the message matches the market. So in the figure out what works, it's 2 things. It's your action, and then it's your messaging, right?
Right.
Maybe the messaging has changed. The conversations should change to help people move forward, to help people do the things they want to do. And the 3rd step in this is ramp it up.
Yes.
Which takes us back to what we were just talking about, the time on task, the effort to equal the results. Our results will never outweigh our effort. So you can do a quick assessment for yourself. How much time did I spend on lead generating activity? How much time have I spent on my actions, on getting in front of people, getting in front of the business, right? That's what ramp it up means. And then in that ramp up time, right, your time on that task creates the opportunities. And Gary says in this section, he said, just simply getting in the path of business is the goal. Lead gen equals getting in the path of potential business.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So I love that section. And I'll quote this from the book. The difference between an MREA, a millionaire real estate agent, and others that aren't millionaires is just consistent lead gen.
Yeah. Time on task, consistency, consistency every time. So many things you said are so powerful. And what I would just add to it is, I ask brand new agents, what are you in the business of selling? And many of them say, I'm in the business of selling houses. No, we're not. We're in the business of selling ourselves. Why someone should work with me versus another real estate agent. And in the key, this is such a key chapter in anyone's real estate business. And most of our real estate agents that are active right now have been in the business for 10 years or less, right? Most of them 10 years or less. And when we talk about markets shifting all the time, the reason why we're bringing up this shift book right now is the shift that we're seeing right now is that things have slowed down. And our agents who for the last 10 years are used to a market that was quick, they didn't have to focus so much on their lead gen and their lead follow-up efforts. And I, in my opinion, after being in this business for a very long time and coaching many agents, if you don't work on your lead gen and your lead follow-up skills, which is the core of your business, Gary Keller says your real estate business is lead generation and everything else. And I think he knows what he's talking about. You know, he's a pretty smart guy. He's the owner of the largest real estate company in the world. One of the agents on the panel last week, when I asked the question, what are you doing differently for your lead generation? One of our agents said, well, I'm actually doing it again. Because it's taking, great answer. Didn't have to do it so much over the last few years because things were happening so quick. Buyers were there. They were writing offers quickly. Properties were selling within 24 hours. And now it's more of what we'd call a normal market with normal market time, which means you have the opportunity to sell yourself better ask those important questions that get to that third level of emotion that make people act. And that's why they're going to work with you versus another real estate agent. So it's time over task. The lead gen efforts that you put in, they do build. You know, this is a very much a faith-based business, real estate is, because we have to have a lot of faith in our daily activities, our daily efforts, that it is leading somewhere. You're in a faith-based business when you don't get paid till the end. There's a lot of trust and faith in that, right? Mm-hmm. And so this chapter, like you said, read it over and over again. It is the key to our business. It's the core. And if you nail this, it really is the difference between whether you're a millionaire real estate agent or a really successful real estate agent versus someone who's just getting by and having to figure it out over and over and over again. It's really teaching consistency, systems, models, consistency, time over task.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're wondering, like, what are the things that if you're assessing your business and you're saying, gosh, I'm doing all these things, it's not working, it's not getting the results, there are lists and strategies listed in this chapter.
Yes.
Right. Which is why I'm recommending everybody reread it, do a quick assessment, ask yourself, what am I not doing that potentially if I were would get me in front of more business, would give me the opportunity to have the conversations, to get face to face with someone. And the second thing that I want to wrap up with is appointments are the magic.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have marketing, we have passive income, passive connections, we have proactive and active activities. And the ones that get you appointments is what's going to give you the business. And, you know, as according to the NAR, we know that when you get face to face with somebody, that gives you a 75% chance that they will choose to work with you when they buy and sell.
Right.
So assess your activities.
Get in front of people.
Lean into what's working and get in front of people. Get face to face, or at least Zoom to Zoom. So go ahead.
I would add one more thing. The other part that's really great in this chapter is it talks about leveling up your lead gen activities.
Ramp it up.
And we call it ramp it up. Sometimes we call it 7th level, but really it's leveling up. And I'm going to be teaching a class in a couple of weeks on leveling up your lead gen activities. And I welcome everybody to come to that class with their favorite type of lead generation. And we're going to work together to level it up.
I love that. Perfect. Yeah. Great way to end the call. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and reach out to us if there's anything that we could help you with, or as a company, to fill in some of these gaps, help you with your efforts. Have a great day.
Thank you.